Carolyn, now to the looming layoffs as Stellantis and thousands of jobs are on the line.
Stellantis ended production of these Jeeps and fired their workers. The reasons behind this drastic decision has left many to question its implications for a brand that has long symbolized adventure. Jeep has always been renowned for its toughness and the thrill of off-road experiences, but these recent developments raise some serious questions. Is this just a bump in the road, or could it herald a deeper crisis that threatens to alter the very identity of the company? What does this mean for Jeep, and how will all of this impact the people working there? What's happening? Jeep has long represented the essence of ruggedness and the thrill of off-road adventures. In 2022, Jeep sold over 275,000 units, solidifying its place as a favorite for adventure seekers. But Stellantis has made the decision to stop the production of two of its flagship models, the Wrangler and the Grand Cherokee. This wasn't just a random decision. It was part of what Stellantis is calling production adjustments. Now, you might wonder what production adjustments actually entail and why such a significant move was necessary. Well, there are three main reasons for the Stellantis to make this bold decision. Let me break it down for you. Drastic decline. Let's take a good hard look at the sales landscape for some of Stellantis' flagship models, namely the Wrangler and the Grand Cherokee, because, to put it plainly, the numbers are concerning. In the first half of 2024, sales of the beloved Wrangler plummeted by a startling 33%. On top of that, the Grand Cherokee didn't fare much better, with sales hitting a nearly 19% decline compared to the previous year. That's some serious drop-off, and it indicates that something's amiss in the market. As a result, it's clear that Stellantis needs to hit the reset button on production levels, or else we could be looking at continued losses that no one wants to see. Adjusting production schedules is not just a smart move, it's essential. It allows Stellantis to respond more accurately to what consumers want right now. The last thing you want is to be churning out vehicles that are just sitting on lots, gathering dust. If Stellantis can fine-tune its manufacturing to reflect current consumer demand, they can avoid the pitfall of overproduction, which, let's face it, wouldn't do any favors for anyone involved. So recalibrating how many Wranglers and Grand Cherokees are made seems not only sensible but crucial for the company's bottom line. Now let's shift gears and talk about financial stability, because that's where the reality check comes in. Stellantis is currently feeling the heat, and it's real. The company has recorded an overall sales dip of 21% across its entire brand lineup in the US market. This sort of decline is no small matter. It's imperative to maintain financial stability during challenging times like these, especially when there's mounting pressure coming from investors and analysts who are keenly watching how the company handles its profitability and market share. To navigate these turbulent waters, Stellantis is making production adjustments as part of a larger strategy aimed at slashing costs while enhancing operational efficiency. Each of these measures is vital for not just surviving this sales slump, but for stabilizing the company's financial health as well. These are not just business decisions, they're lifelines in a complex and ever-changing market where consumer preferences can shift overnight. Inventory crisis. Let's talk about something that's been weighing heavily on Stellantis' shoulders, a significant buildup of excess inventory, particularly when it comes to their iconic Jeep models, the Wrangler and the Grand Cherokee. As of early August 2024, reports from US dealerships reveal a staggering scenario. These dealers are sitting on over 4 months worth of Jeep stock just waiting to be sold. To put that in perspective, the industry average is around 68 days. Now that's quite the disparity. This alarming gap points to a severe disconnect between how many vehicles are being churned out and the actual demand from consumers, and it's raising some serious red flags. So what does all this excess inventory actually mean for dealerships? Many of these establishments typically manage their vehicle inventory through loans known as floor plans. Each unsold vehicle sitting on the lot is a ticking time bomb for monthly interest payments, and the more cars accumulate, the costlier it gets. Picture this: if a dealership has a vehicle that's been collecting dust for 9 months, they're now facing 9 months worth of interest payments on a vehicle that has brought in zero sales revenue. This can quickly spiral into significant financial losses that no dealership wants to experience. Now that we've set the stage for the financial woes stemming from excess inventory, there are also cash flow issues to consider. High inventory levels lead to reduced liquidity for dealerships, leaving them with some serious obstacles when it comes to keeping the business afloat. These dealerships dealerships need cash on hand to meet their operational costs, like maintaining staffing levels or covering rent and utilities, all while waiting for what seems like an eternity for vehicles to sell. If cars remain unsold for extended periods, this could seriously jeopardize the overall financial health of the dealership. It's a precarious situation, and for many businesses, that's simply not tenable. But let's not just glance over these numbers without understanding their broader impact on Stellantis as a whole. This excess inventory situation isn't just a dealership-related hiccup, it's a systemic challenge that signals something deeper in the company's marketing and production strategies. But what is the root cause of all this trouble? How did they end up here? Market positioning. Stellantis has faced its fair share of criticism regarding its pricing strategy. It seems that there's a glaring disconnect between the prices of their vehicles and what consumers are actually willing or able to pay. Many potential buyers are looking at models like the Wrangler and find them beyond their financial reach. The result? Longer sales cycles and a growing inventory of unsold vehicles just sitting on dealership lots. It's like having a party where nobody shows up. All that anticipation and no one's there to take part. By halting production, Stellantis can now take a step back and reassess its strategies. This pause presents a valuable opportunity for the company to fine-tune its pricing and promotional tactics. The goal here is simple: get those models in line with market expectations and consumer affordability. After all, the last thing you want is for your vehicles to be dream machines that are way out of reach for the average buyer. But let's dive a little deeper into why this matters. In the automotive industry, brand reputation is everything. Consumers want to feel confident in their purchases, and that confidence is heavily tied to how a brand is perceived. With recent reports highlighting quality issues and recalls, especially related to models like the Jeep Wrangler, Stellantis needs to take this opportunity to ensure that every vehicle that rolls off the assembly line meets rigorous quality standards. You wouldn't want to buy a car only to discover it has a history of problems, right? That's a surefire way to lose customer trust. The temporary halt in production isn't just a strategic move for pricing, it's also about ensuring quality control. Taking the necessary time to implement robust quality measures is essential to maintain customer satisfaction and, in turn, foster loyalty. Think of it this way: when consumers have confidence in a brand's commitment to quality, they're more likely to return when it's time to buy their next vehicle. Furthermore, satisfied customers are invaluable, often acting as enthusiastic brand ambassadors. Now get this, many consumers are becoming more discerning about what they're willing to pay for. They're starting to draw a hard line when it comes to premium prices for vehicles they perceive as offering less than stellar value. This disconnect between what buyers are willing to spend and what brands like Jeep are aiming to charge is creating ripples in sales, inventory management, and brand loyalty. High prices versus consumers' expectation. Let's talk about the Jeep Compass. This vehicle is pitched as an entry-level SUV in the Jeep lineup, but here's the catch: it's priced significantly higher than many of its competitors in the compact SUV arena. This pricing strategy is baffling to potential buyers who are left feeling like they're not getting their money's worth. Imagine standing in a store, eyeing two products that look almost identical, yet one is priced far more than the other. Who wouldn't hesitate? The Compass's steep price tag creates an impression of poor value among consumers who might otherwise be interested. The reality is that as customers weigh their options, a growing number of them are pushing back against spending money on vehicles that don't seem to offer value anywhere near their price tags. This hesitation is particularly pronounced among younger consumers, those savvy shoppers who place a premium on affordability and practicality. They've got budgets to meet, student loans to pay off, and a plethora of options available at their fingertips. So the last thing they want to do is splurge on what they see as an overpriced vehicle. Now, let's talk about the market dynamics and how they fit into this scenario. Brands like Honda and Toyota are slaying it by offering SUVs that are comparable in size to the Jeep models, but at far more digestible price points. Take the Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4, for example. These vehicles are not only budget-friendly, but are also widely recognized for their reliability and resale value. It's like comparing apples to oranges when consumers look at these options stacked up against higher-priced Jeep offerings. What's the takeaway here? When consumers feel that a vehicle doesn't justify its high price tag, be it due to its features, performance, or overall reliability, they're far less likely to pull the trigger on a purchase. This perception can lead to a frustrating cycle of longer sales cycles and increased inventory levels, resulting in a backlog of vehicles just sitting there, waiting for someone to take them home. Picture a dealership lot filled with gorgeous Jeeps. But as time drags on, the shine begins to fade and the urgency urgency to sell increases. Enhancing the value proposition is essential. Instead of simply relying on a strong brand heritage, Jeep has to innovate and ensure that consumers feel like they're getting something substantial for their investment. This could mean upping the ante on features that matter most to today's buyers, like advanced safety technology, fuel efficiency, or all-wheel drive that can handle rough terrain. Practically, marketing efforts should highlight these assets and promote the unique lifestyle that owning a Jeep embodies, not just the notion of a vehicle, but the adventures and experiences that come with it. Consumer engagement should be a major part of this strategy. Social media can serve as an excellent platform for fostering dialogue with potential customers, allowing Jeep to gain insights into what features and pricing strategies resonate most. Being responsive to feedback can help drive improvements and adjustments in real time. It's like having a conversation rather than making a one-way sales pitch. As Stellantis faces a wave of challenges, key among them declining sales and unexpected production halts, one pressing question looms: can this storied company truly reconnect with its foundation? The road ahead. Let's talk about the need for a course correction, a term that might sound a little corporate, but it's really about recognizing that something isn't working and making the necessary adjustments. For Stellantis, this means taking a candid look at its strategic missteps, especially surrounding pricing and inventory management. Just consider the dramatic sales decreases in flagship models like the Wrangler and Grand Cherokee, 33% and 19% respectively. This isn't just a minor blip on the radar. It screams that their current strategies aren't resonating with the very consumers they hope to reach. Recognizing these issues is the first step toward realigning with market expectations. Now, understanding consumer sentiment is crucial too. A lack of comprehension about what potential buyers want has created a significant disconnect between Stellantis' offerings and the needs and desires of today's vehicle shoppers. If Stellantis can openly acknowledge these missteps, they can start crafting a plan that focuses on regaining the trust that may have been lost among customers and dealers alike. Addressing quality control. This issue is urgent, and it's not something that can be swept under the rug. Quality control has emerged as a primary concern given the cascade of safety issues, recalls, and quality complaints, particularly regarding famous models like the Wrangler. Such negative perceptions can erode consumer confidence, which is the lifeblood of any brand. So how does Stellantis go about restoring that trust? The answer lies in a significant investment in their manufacturing processes. By ramping up their commitment to quality assurance, they can implement stringent oversight at every stage of production. This means that when a Jeep finally reaches the dealership lot, it is a product that meets or exceeds the high standards consumers expect. Investing in manufacturing isn't just good optics, it's a strategic necessity if Stellantis wants to reclaim the hearts of its customers. What are the long-term benefits of focusing on quality? Quite simply, it's about building customer loyalty. When consumers feel confident in the durability and reliability of their vehicles, they're much more likely to return for future purchases. Happy customers don't just buy again, they become brand ambassadors who will promote Jeep through word-of-mouth recommendations. A solid reputation is priceless. Incorporating a renewed focus on quality can also play a significant role in rebuilding Jeep's credibility as a brand known for its durability and performance. This reputation is not just vital for retaining existing customers, it becomes a magnet for attracting new ones. In a crowded automotive marketplace, establishing quality as a competitive advantage can set Stellantis apart from its rivals. Customers are more discerning than ever, and they're often willing to pay a premium for vehicles that promise reliability and excellence over the long haul. Reconnecting with core customers. It's about the people who drive your vehicles. Stellantis needs to put the spotlight back on the everyday adventurers who have long relied on Jeep for their journeys. This means advocating for a return to affordable, reliable vehicles designed with those consumers in mind. The Jeep Compass, which was touted as an entry-level option, has been priced unreasonably high. This disconnect is turning away potential buyers who might otherwise become lifelong fans. To reconnect with these core customers, Stellantis should indeed consider price adjustments or creating enticing financing options that allow individuals and families to embrace the Jeep lifestyle without feeling financially strapped. Accessibility without diluting the perceived value of the brand is the name of the game here. Introducing new models can also breathe fresh air into the brand. Expanding the product product lineup with vehicles that emphasize affordability while still delivering functionality is critical to tapping a broader audience. Stellantis should explore options like smaller SUVs or hybrid electric variants that cater to an increasingly environmentally conscious consumer base. Moreover, one demographic that is ripe for attention is the younger consumer. By focusing on entry-level models that resonate with this group, those searching for adventure but not looking to break the bank, Stellantis has an excellent opportunity to tap into a quickly growing market segment. But don't stop there. Enhancing customer engagement is a powerful tool in the quest for brand loyalty. Stellantis should prioritize building relationships with its consumers by directly engaging with them through feedback channels like surveys and focus groups. This open dialogue can unveil valuable insights into their preferences and expectations, allowing the brand to tailor their offerings more closely to customer desires. In addition, community involvement initiatives and loyalty programs can substantially strengthen relationships between Jeep and its customers. Programs that foster community ties or offer rewards for returning customers not only create a sense of belonging, but also encourage repeat purchases. It's all about creating a familial connection between the brand and its buyers. Ford. Think about the Ford F-Series trucks or the iconic Mustang. These vehicles are part of the fabric of the automotive landscape. However, even a giant like Ford hasn't been immune to the turbulence of shifting consumer desires and economic distress. In the early 2000s, the auto industry underwent a seismic shift. Rising fuel prices sent shockwaves through the market, prompting consumers to rethink their vehicle choices. Suddenly, those big, bold SUVs and trucks that Ford had invested heavily in weren't as appealing as they once were. Many buyers began craving more fuel-efficient vehicles, leading to a notable decline in sales figures for Ford. This is where things got dicey. With inventory levels that skyrocketed as sales dwindled, Ford faced a major dilemma. Excess unsold vehicles were piling up around the country, placing immense financial strain on dealerships that relied on floor plan financing to manage their inventory. Picture this: dealerships burdened with mounting interest payments on cars that no one was buying. It's a tough situation, and one that no business wants to endure. Ford's response to these pressing challenges was multifaceted and strategic. They acted decisively, implementing production adjustments that would align their output with actual consumer demand. This included temporarily shutting down certain plants and reducing shifts to curb the excess vehicle production that was exacerbating the problem. By taking this step, Ford aimed to balance the scales and ensure they were producing cars people wanted to buy. Moreover, Ford initiated a significant reassessment of its product line. The company pivoted toward focusing on smaller, more fuel-efficient cars and unleashed a new line of hybrid and electric vehicle options to appeal to changing consumer preferences. This strategic shift not only demonstrated Ford's adaptability, but also positioned the company as a forward-thinking industry leader prepared to meet the demands of modern drivers. To complement these production and product changes, Ford also launched aggressive promotional strategies. This involved crafting compelling marketing campaigns for their new range of fuel-efficient vehicles, while simultaneously providing incentives to dealerships for moving older inventory. By encouraging the sales of less sought-after models, Ford aimed to reduce their excess stock while keeping their dealerships in a healthier financial position. The outcomes of these strategic adjustments were impressive. By the year 2015, Ford had managed not only to stabilize its operations, but also to regain lost market share and profitability. The company's successful transition toward more efficient vehicles showed that they were ready to embrace the future. The debut of the Ford F-150 Lightning, an electric version of their best-selling truck, exemplified this commitment to innovation. It's not just about keeping up, it's about leading in a time of change, something that Stellantis might take a page from in navigating its own dramatic shifts. General Motors. Like Ford, General Motors has also faced its own set of formidable challenges. One of the most pivotal moments came during the 2008 financial crisis, a period that forced many automakers to confront harsh realities. With plummeting sales and a market rife with uncertainty, General Motors found itself in a precarious position, grappling with massive debt and an overwhelming inventory of vehicles. The company's response to this crisis was both bold and transformative. General Motors engaged in a substantial restructuring effort, culminating in a government-backed bankruptcy filing that would allow it to shed debt and streamline operations. Following this, they took a hard look at their overall inventory levels, making strategic decisions regarding which models to continue producing and which to phase out entirely. This not only included cutting some of their less popular sedans, but also reallocating resources to focus on more profitable lines, such as trucks and SUVs, effectively aligning their offerings with consumer preferences. In addition, General Motors embraced embraced innovation as a cornerstone of their recovery strategy. By bolstering their commitment to electric and autonomous vehicles, General Motors aimed to prepare for a future where sustainability would be key. The introduction of the Chevrolet Bolt, an all-electric hatchback, helped to position them as a player in the growing electric vehicle market. By shifting their focus and adapting their strategy, General Motors not only weathered the storm, but also paved the way for future growth in an evolving landscape. Last but not least, Nissan. Nissan faced significant setbacks, particularly with the decline of its once popular sedan models in an era when consumers were leaning more toward crossovers and SUVs. This shift in consumer behavior put tremendous pressure on Nissan to reconsider its product offerings and marketing strategies. Nissan's response included not only diversifying its lineup to create more SUVs and crossovers, but also enhancing its focus on electric vehicles. The Nissan Leaf was one of the earliest electric vehicles to hit the mainstream market, and Nissan capitalized on that legacy, doubling down on its investment in electrification. By responding proactively to market trends, Nissan aimed to meet consumer demands while showcasing their commitment to sustainability. In terms of inventory management, Nissan also had to grapple with excess stock, especially as consumer tastes shifted dramatically. To combat this, the company employed a series of promotional campaigns aimed at encouraging customers to consider their newly developed vehicles. By ramping up advertising and offering attractive lease deals, Nissan aimed to decrease inventory levels while simultaneously generating excitement around their refreshed lineup. These stories show that even industry giants can face significant setbacks. However, what's key is how they respond to those challenges. Each brand took substantial steps to reevaluate their strategies, focusing on production adjustments, responsiveness to consumer behavior, and innovative solutions that cater to changing preferences. The automotive landscape is continuously shifting, and those who adapt quickly and efficiently can not only survive, but thrive. For Stellantis, the current moment represents both a challenge and an opportunity. By taking cues from these notable case studies, they can navigate through the complexities of excess inventory and optimize their approach to production. As the Jeep brand carves a path forward, understanding the dynamics of consumer behavior and making the necessary adjustments will be vital in ensuring sustained growth and success in a highly competitive industry. Keep an eye on Stellantis as they work to chart this course. There's a lot at stake, and the world will be watching.